Hi there, namaste, and welcome back to another spiritualistic pick a card reading. Today we're going to be doing a past life regression reading, so please select whichever group your intuition feels the most drawn to. You can of course pick more than one, but go ahead and select between group number 1, this Ascend Now, Avoid the Crowds button, which is honestly just cute. This Desert Rose Selenite, which does help you connect past, present, and future lives. And the Bloodstone, which is the symbol of a warrior. So, I will be tuning the vibration of the reading with my Soul Star Chakra tuning fork here. So, without further ado, go ahead and select whichever group or groups you feel the most drawn to. And if you are interested in any of my recent projects or anything like that, any of my books, you can go ahead and check the link in the description box, as well as you will find the timestamps there. So, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you at your reading. Namaste. Hi there, group number 1. If you select the Ascend Now, Avoid the Crowds button, then this reading is for you. As I mentioned in the intro, I'm activating your Soul Star Chakra. So this is the chakra directly above your crown chakra that connects you with everywhere else that bits and pieces, particles of your consciousness are connected to right now. So this is where you will find connection with any of your past, present, and future or parallel lives and timelines. So, activating your Soul Star Chakra, let's get into your reading. You chose the Ascend Now, Avoid the Crowds button, which is indicative of the fact that you are here currently to help the Earth Collective to awaken and ascend. You may have done this many times before, and I'm seeing avoid and row, which let me know that you are from somewhere in space in a past life. There's an indication of being a starseed, perhaps from the Pleiadian Collective, and that it is not somewhere so far. It is just not as dense of an energy. We have access, free, easy access to the Pleiadian Collective, and we can even see their star system from Earth. You are always being watched over by friends, family, and loved ones from this collective, from your past life, and they'd like to remind you that this past life, in a way, may also be a parallel life. Because time is a density that belongs near the 3rd dimension as it is 4th dimensional. So you can go home whenever you'd like. This may not be your only home, but the past life that wants to come up for you today seems to be highly Pleiadian. They want to show you how many times you have successfully helped many different beings in many different places ascend. And now it's time for you to stop beating around the bush, because you know what you're here to do. And your past life is definitely an energy where you felt a group, a community around you. You always felt loved and welcomed and nourished, nurtured, and supported and loved in every way. So here in this realm, you might feel a little unsupported. You might feel as though it's hard to speak your truth. You might also notice that it is very crowded, very dense, very chaotic. But they'd like you to take a moment to tune back in with this past life of yours so that you can actually enjoy where you are from that higher perspective. And I'm going to look more into your actual past life, but they really want you to see the beauty of where you are from where they're standing, from where you once stood. This is a really beautiful message. So I got the Pachamama card as I split the deck. Now, I'm going to see what messages want to come out about your past life, and I want to see a little bit more about your individual nature through this collective you were once a part of. You're definitely here to help aid in the ascension of the human collective, which is beautiful, but maybe not only humans. You might feel a resonance with, heart of the sky, beautiful, with plants and animals and insects, every type of being here on Earth, because you see them all as equal. You have the Heart of the Sky with number 24, the Medicine Wheel with number 35, and they're saying that's it for now. So we do have 24, which reduces to a number 6. Seeing the beauty of your home, but from a very grounded perspective. You might feel alone, but this is almost a blessing, seeing as your past life you were part of a collective who was aware that they were a collective and they acted as such. Now, being a very gifted healing collective, the Pleiadians, as individuals, each have their own special healing ability or connection with a small group of, large or small group of souls external to their own collective. With 35 here reducing to an 8, there is again indication that there is communication that needs to come out. There's something that you know within your heart. Maybe you feel like you are, with number 3 here, this is Gemini, you might feel like you're part of a twin soul, or you might feel like there is one or just a very small group of people around you that resonate with you in this part of your truth. And number 5 is energy of Leo, indicating that I'm hearing starborn. You are starborn. And there's also an element of being confident in speaking your truth about who and what you are, because you are inherently supposed to help transcend, transform, transmute, and heal the collective as a whole, which is a big job, but you are not alone. But you are actually given an opportunity now to enjoy the individualism that comes with being part of the Earth Collective, as chaotic as it may be. Now with the Medicine Wheel, there is a snake, but it's facing downwards. You might feel a bit uncomfortable grounding your energy all the way. In fact, you might feel unsupported in fully grounding, and this is for a reason. They'd like you to pay attention to the elements as well as the seasons, and know that as long as you are looking up, you are always going to find your way back home. Now, in your past life, you had an opportunity to guide other people, and some in the earthly realm, and you actually connected with people who you might recognize their names now, but when you were in this past life, you were actually a guide for some very significant people in this plane who helped to make change in the earth and the collective to help raise the vibration of the Earth Collective. And these people gave you faith and hope in this collective, which made you feel confident enough to come down here. You might feel like a bit of a nomad. You might want to travel. You might feel very flexible. Now we have the snake, the eagle, the hummingbird, and I believe this is a panther or a jaguar on this card. So you're moving very, or it could also be a cheetah. You're moving very quickly and very flexibly in every direction. You might seem to have a large accumulation of skills or gifts or memories already available to you. And you'll definitely notice that you are affected by the transits, by the lunar phases, a bit more than others, but in a different way, as you don't feel like you are fully meshed and integrated with the Earth Collective now. And this is for a reason. This was also part of a decision you made in your past life before you came down here. There's a knowledge that tuning in entirely to the collective that is currently on Earth is cyanide. There's a knowledge that by incarnating here, this could inherently be your last incarnation. Not to say that you are not simultaneously dispersed in other places, but that I'm getting a sacrificial element here. You knew you were sacrificing yourself, your comfort, perhaps even your life, as you were choosing to reincarnate down here to help ascend and raise the vibration. But you had so much faith in those that you had guided before, and your energy alone is so healing, so strong, so potent, that you didn't even think twice about it. You almost didn't even worry. The only element was fearing not being loved in return, going an entire lifetime without feeling the balancing of the scales. Because most of the balancing happens behind the scenes, beyond the veil, or not in a very tangible 3D sense, which is most of the senses that the Earth Collective is attuned to currently, and you are aware of this. There is an element of finding your soul family and friends in this life, but a lot of them may not be incarnated right now. A lot of them may not be human. They might be animals or plants or even other Pleiadians, other star beings. There's definitely an element too of you hearing that which is left unsaid. You might like to go out and stare up at the sky at night, and it might just give you that sense of groundedness that you don't get from walking outside with your feet on the earth. Because truly, when you ground yourself to your root chakra, your home, it is elsewhere. And it's from this past life. It's very, very potent, which means that this was either very recent or very, very, very strongly energy that you are inhabiting currently. There is an element, I almost said elephant, so removal of obstacles there, you are guided and protected, but there is an element of you blazing through any obstacles coming your way, because you know that as long as you don't get sucked into the physical sensations of it all, the instant gratification of it all, you can stay focused on your mission. There's an element of knowing that there are many distractions here, but you chose to be the medicine. You chose to come down and remember. You may have remembered your past life from when you were a child. You may have memory of all your lives now, and you may have this nagging feeling about you that this is or could potentially be your last life, even though you also simultaneously seem to have the knowledge that everything happens at once, so that could not be possible. And this is part of you tapping into this this energy of the earth where it is now. And I'm seeing in Spy Kids, I think it's like Spy Kids 3, which I haven't watched in forever. This is coming through as a channel message for you about like if you die in the video game, you die in real life. So there's this element similar to this coming through, where there may be this fear of, well, what if I don't fulfill my mission? What if I don't get this done? But going back to your past life, you are able to effortlessly transmute any energy, and you still can here and now. It's just that as long as you do not succumb to distractions around you, you will ascend now, and you are avoiding the crowds, and you may be a bit of an introvert, but you might also enjoy other people as well, but from a distance. You might enjoy watching other people have fun instead of being the one to jump off the cliff or go skateboarding. You might like to appreciate the art made by other people more so than creating the art yourself. And you are inherently creative, but it is not through any grounded element. It will be not through the masculine chakras, because that's not your comfort zone. And that's why you're so heavily connected to this past life that you're almost simultaneously, it feels like you're almost simultaneously incarnated at this time. And you might be very much aware of this. Now, this is coming through as a past life because it's not where you're grounded right now. But you seem very, very in tune with your higher chakras, even those beyond the crown chakra and the soul star chakra. So as you are tuning into the higher dimensions, you are aware that you have the ability to make a change. You have the ability to transform, heal, and ascend. It's like you had the ability to do all of the heavy lifting yourself for this entire collective, but not from the perspective of standing down here. But you needed to come down here in order to do the work in that sense. So you are doing your best, and you know that you can do it, even though you maybe didn't know entirely how you would then. You just knew that you would figure it out along as you go, and you would be supported. And you knew exactly who was going to support you. It would be the whole rest of your collective, which you are still in tune with now. And perhaps if you do resonate with being incarnated in other star systems, or having connections in general with other collectives or star beings, inner earth, ancient civilizations, other star collectives and things like this, you know how supported and guided you truly are. You know that every plant, animal, and molecule of air is a guide for you along your way. You know that it's all sentient. You know that it's all orchestrating with itself, and the best that you can do to shed light and ascend even the tiniest particles and molecules, then the more of an effect you'll be able to have. In your past life, there was absolutely nothing you were afraid of, and absolutely nothing that could spark fear within you. You knew truth, and because of that, you could not be fooled, you could not be tempted, you could not lose sight of your mission, your love, who you are, your enlightenment either. And you might feel very perhaps detached from emotion in this life, or you might also be very in tune with the emotions of others. It might almost be that you only feel the overflowing emotions of others instead of your own. And as you work on your own process, you get closer and closer to your own collective. And that's why you might feel called to do a lot of extra cleansing of your body, your space in this lifetime. But there's an element too of knowing that light and dark are, look, we have death and rebirth along with the Fool. That an ending is just a beginning is only an ending, and there is absolutely nothing to worry about, to fear. Even the faith that the Fool needs to have to jump off the cliff is an illusion, because the Fool is an illusion as well as the cliff. In this collective, in this past life, you were able to see everything the way that it was, and there's also some sort of grand knowledge that you have that you took with you here about death and rebirth as a whole. And for this reason, you didn't fear sacrificing yourself to come down here. But this was a conscious decision. Now I'm feeling that there are some messages from your loved ones from this past life that want to come through for you, Group 1. As I pull from the Tarot of the Little Prince, I highly recommend you read the Little Prince, particularly with your soul journey. You might find some channeled messages in there for you. Also, it's just really cute and I love it. So, okay, Ace of Swords. You have a lot of clarity that you maybe don't feel is too grounded or is able to be understood by many in the Earth Collective. But I'm getting this knowledge that you know that there's an unclean aspect, as this is a place where people clear and dump their karma. With justice, absolutely. You did come down here for humanitarian reasons, and you're aware of this. But your past life primarily, there was nothing that was unseen to you. Absolutely nothing. And you knew that you were going to come spread some messages that were very spiritual and ethereal in nature, and that you were going to need to forge your path on your own. At the same time, you chose to remain detached because you knew that you were always going to be able to come back to center. You knew that no matter what, particularly in this past life of yours, you were able to see the sun from an external perspective, as one that did not rely on it, but one that saw it as another being. I'm getting that you actually had quite a close relationship with the sun itself. And there's also an element of restriction, knowing that you were going to need to restrict yourself in order to be here. And Queen of Pentacles, with the Eight of Swords at the bottom of the deck, this is knowing that you would be born to forget and then soon remember. And as you remember, it is your job to help other people do the same and lead by example. Let's see what's popping out here. Two of Swords with the Magician. Choosing whether or not to stand in your full power, knowing that you came here to do just that, but also acknowledging that in your past life, there was no such thing as fear, as we said earlier. And this illusion, this chaos, does not belong anywhere. And for some reason, there is this illusion that's been imposed upon the Earth Collective consciously. You may also have a connection with the entities that are doing this, and that might also be part of the reason why you're here. You might notice that you have a spiritual calling, but your last life actually wanted to do more work with spiritual or ethereal or extra-dimensional beings than with the actual humans itself. So you might feel like most of your purpose is not even in the realm that you're currently incarnated in. But there was also a knowledge in your past life that truth is truth, and there is something that is undeniable about that. Therefore, no matter how much you try to go around in circles, no matter how much one might overthink, or no matter how much you might feel like you're lost and alone, you will always be able to find your way back to truth, because there is only one truth. And here, in the third dimension, there is right, wrong, or he said, she said, and then the truth in the middle. There's a finch that just landed outside my window, so finches could be significant. And you're learning something. It's like you have access to information that you incarnated with consciously on purpose. You knew when you were going to come down here in your past life that you were able to keep, like, I'm seeing somebody like putting together a little gift box for themselves, like a little care package of this piece of truth, this piece of truth, this special skill, this knowledge, things like this. And you put together for yourself a particular little care package, and you're like, this is what's going to get me through, and then from here I'll be able to put the rest of the puzzle together and find everything else on my own. And this hangman energy, you may have spent a lot of time in reflection, or a lot of time even tuning back into your home collective, or just feeling connected with the stars, connected with other beings similar to you. But in this past life, you very much were comfortable with your body. In this past life, you felt inherently abundant. You were prominent in some way through this collective or for this collective. And I'm seeing like a group of light beings sitting around each other like in a circle and saying, we choose you to do this mission. So there's also an indication, group 1, that I'm hearing taking one for the team in a sense, and I can't help but notice all of these crowns that are coming out. So you might feel very connected with masculine energy instead of being grounded, and that is the way that you execute yourself in the grounded realm, because you are here to complete action, but the action itself is inherently feminine because it has to do with ascension. It has to do with raising the vibration of collectives and perhaps even connecting with other spirits or energies, entities that are manipulating the realm beyond the veil, that people are aware that there's a problem, but they don't know who is behind it. But I have a feeling that you do, and you actually have close personal relationships from this past life with these energies, but you don't see them as good or bad. You see them as entities that are taking advantage of a situation and of the sleep state of the collective. So, with that being said, in your past life, you did have some very close beings to you that were not just these. You did have some sort of state of authority. With the 3 of Wands, 8 of Pentacles, you always knew where to put your energy and how to put this energy as well. I'm seeing you being like an ancient version of this light being that you were. Perhaps you are a Pleiadian, but in this past life, but perhaps you incarnated from Lyra. You have a very ancient soul, but it feels like it is new on Earth, like you're just dipping your toe. And with 8 of Pentacles here, there's so much work, so much hard, back-breaking work that was just easy for you in this last life. And in High Priestess, there she is, with the King of Cups. You're definitely committed to your journey, and you do everything you can through love, authenticity, and absolute truth. And knowing that you have the ability to see death from a new perspective, to see love from a new perspective, to take action that hasn't been taken before. Notice that he's flying over the pyramids. You might have truths about ancient civilizations on Earth because you watched them, because you took part in them, because you guided people through this and you physically experienced it and you remember it. That might be lost to the Earth Collective as a whole. In your past life, this might have been something that was very close and near and dear to your heart. And as you saw from above, this turning over of energies on the Earth Collective, that is when you decided, I'm going to wait for just the right time, space, place, and body to become available, and I will incarnate perfectly in the way that will help me. And here you are on the Temperance card, waiting for the perfect time, knowing that you're going to be guided, but knowing that you see things in a different perspective, and pouring yourself a little glass of what you think is going to get you through. Perhaps special skills and abilities. It's like you have a little special toolbox that you've always had, but as you learn how to use them, you really recognize the significance of them, and you realize that just in these few tools, you really gave yourself everything. I'm almost seeing like Horcruxes from Harry Potter, but in a positive way. Like you hid your past life, you hid aspects of your being in these little gifts and pieces of knowledge and wisdom that you have, and you've already given yourself all of the knowledge of your entire being and everything you could ever need. There is also an element of eyesight coming out here. You might have very, very strong intuition, clairvoyance, psychic abilities, and you might be like blind in the Earth. Like you might need glasses, you might have very weak eyes or very prominent eyes. There's something about your eyes that's coming out here, because instead of seeing the physical realm, you chose to see through the realm, see through the veil. And for that, it's almost you exchanged the 2 eyes for the 1, which is the combination of the 3. With the Star, Now, the star is a direct reflection of the Pleiadian collective. Typically, the star card represents a Pleiadian coming down from the sky in order to tend to the fountain of youth on Earth. And as we know, the fountain of youth is mythological or exists in folklore, but there is a knowledge here that you have about some sort of folklore, mythology, this special placement of something that was once considered a lore. And I'm thinking things like, what's coming to mind is like the Ark of the Covenant, like hidden tombs and ancient civilizations and the Fountain of Youth. There are things like this that are only thought to be hearsay or fairy tales that you firsthand witnessed in this past life. And that's another reason why you're here. But you know that the information must go to the right people, the right beings. Otherwise, you might continue to see what has been happening here. You're definitely a spirit guide for many in the earthly realm, and you're definitely connected to animals. Now, Two of Swords does indicate a decision, but knowing that you always know right from wrong, and check out all of these elephants. This did come out earlier in your reading, the elephant. So you might have a specific tie towards elephants, knowing that you have the ability to absolutely trample any energy that comes your way, knowing that you have the abundance, the spiritual inheritance, the strength, the power, the authority, but instead you choose to rise above it. And this is like the lion who befriended the lamb here with the sheep. It's like you might be an introvert, you might be shy, but at the end of the day, you really are the snake that can bite, but also you are the Kundalini snake. You are awakening, you are a healer, and all of this energy is like within your own body. You might be very physically strong. You might experience very, very powerful ascension or awakening processes in your lifetime now that make it difficult to stay grounded in your body. Or you might feel most comfortable when you meditate and you journey or you dream and you go elsewhere and you are able to experience the fullness of your being all at once. Not that you don't in this realm, but that in order to physically take physical action in this realm, it is so slow and chaotic and like sticky, like tar, and it's all like karma. It's all things that have been cleansed from other places. And this is not a dumping ground. The earth is not a trash can, but there's an energetic attunement to this that has been misplaced here consciously. And you have connection to the beings that did it, as well as the beings that can help. And you are noticing all of these earthwalkers, humans and souls that are still incarnate on the earth, whether they are beyond the realm, passed on, beyond the veil. You have this some sort of like altruistic, all-encompassing energy about you where you're able to see everything from the higher perspective. But this is also what keeps you internal, knowing that you have the ability to make a change and heal. But you need to put yourself in an authoritative leadership position in some way. And this is where you feel uncomfortable being in your body. Now, in your past life, you knew that you were able to give yourself the tools that you needed for this current incarnation. And that's why it continues to come up as far as why this is affecting you now, as opposed to just me telling you about your life, because you are part of a collective. You have access to this every single day, and I get that you tap into it very, very frequently, perhaps every day or in your dreams. The wheel indicates all of the signs, particularly the cardinal signs. So you know that you are here to start pushing the wheel, but it's not just a wheel. Now, the earth has started spinning faster recently, and this has to do with the vibration, the Schumann resonance, the actual vibration that the earth is like at right now. And you saw all of this before you incarnated, and this is why you chose this time, place, and body. Now, Ten of Wands indicates that you have not had it easy, and you knew that you were going to be sacrificing yourself or some part of yourself in order to come down here. And I'm getting this with this leadership and authoritative position. It's like you are coming from being authoritative in a collective to like just a small, unsuspecting being, one of many, in a collective where individuality is not appreciated, even though that is the cure. And so there's an element of you needing to fight through this for your life. Spiritually, a lot of restriction going on, but learning of lessons, knowing that if you had faith in your path, you had faith in your lessons, and that you continued moving forward, you would be able to shine like the star that you actually are. I'm hearing the term seven star sisters, which is the term for the Pleiades, but it's coming out again. Seven has to do with relationships, balance, and beauty, things that are beautiful, as well as balancing of the scales. And star sisters, this is feminine energy. This is knowing that your soul beings are always with you. Your past life is happening right now. Everything that you need is within you already, and you know exactly where to find it. Now with the Five of Wands, you may have been feeling a lot of betrayal around you. Now I'm getting this because of the snake. Five of Wands traditionally represents somebody who's fighting an uphill battle or some sort of useless kind of fight that they're fighting. It's like where no one wins, no one loses. It's just fighting for the sake of fighting. And you're seeing this, and you're trying to find a way not to allow this to affect your emotions, which might be part of the reason why in your current incarnation you feel the emotions of others very strongly so that you can understand what's going on, and you've likely experienced everything in the book and then some, but you are quite detached from your emotional body. And this is important. This is not only important, but it's pivotal. This is something that you are consciously trying to help the Earth Collective draw energy out of the overindulged sacral chakra up into at least the intuitive center and higher. Because as these chakras mirror each other, you're able to see, perhaps you are aware of the chakra centers on Earth, and you may have found that you have incarnated or traveled or know prominent people in your life, soul family perhaps, in these different places. Because there's an element of needing to get right down to the center of it, and there not being too many people on your from your collective and on your level from that collective, or beings who have experienced the same or similar journey to you with the same memory as you. I want to see if I can pull more. Oh, let's see, Three of Wands again. I'm going to pull a little bit more on your past life here. You have some beings coming through to let you know that they love you very, very much. And that I think that you know this, but you need it a little extra right now. You need to hear that you're loved. You need to know that there's a reason why things have been uniquely difficult for you, seemingly. It's because you have clear vision. And that is, it's the best gift of all, but also the most painful. And you are aware of this going into it. You are here to change the day-to-day life of the collective and transform and transmute this energy. So you ascended. Ascended early, ascended first. You may have experienced everything at a very, very young age. But with the moon here at the bottom of the deck, because of this, this is what gave you the ability to start working early. It's like you are almost counting down the minutes that you have on this earth. You might even know the time, date, place, and way that you are going to pass. And take it if it resonates, leave it if it doesn't. But also, you are aware that you can change the timeline. And you are consciously selecting your timeline, stepping into it, and you're taking your role here very, very seriously. And that's why a lot of this difficulty was compacted into the beginning of your life, because this was a conscious decision that you made before coming down here. You gave yourself access to things. You gave yourself a pure heart. You are that rose in Beauty and the Beast. And you're not bewitched. The realm is. And that's why there's this, you seem to be in your own little light bubble when everything around you is just sitting in old emotion. But there's this light that comes from you that is just inherently healing. And you have access to all this occult knowledge, access to understanding your dreams. Perhaps you remember your dreams like normally, and perhaps every single dream you have is lucid. And other people have a difficult time even remembering their dreams. But there's a reason as well why you've given yourself so many people to meet that are unique pieces of the collective, just as individual as you are, but in different ways. And this is so that you can actually help, just like a crystal grid, help every single one of them individually so that they can go and help their own little collective, their own little group of people within the Earth Collective. And you've made already such a larger impact than you think on people. It's been very healing, very emotional, very beautiful, very cathartic. But the reason that people might not necessarily see this Queen of Cups, they might see it in reverse because they're used to being manipulated. People are not used to having healthy surroundings, healthy people, and you can't, it's very difficult to learn something that you haven't experienced or learned before, but you've done this by retaining this information from your past life. And that's what sets you apart. Ten of Swords, exactly. Now I'm going to pull, if your past life version of yourself has any advice for you now in this incarnation, to see what they really want to say. I'm using my Follow Your Heart Oracle deck for this one. That came out. They're saying take it. Dark Night of the Soul. Yeah, they're saying you've been through a lot. And the more that you can really get in there, even when it's uncomfortable, you may notice that a lot of your energies, dark nights of the soul, or shadow work, things like this, are compacted together in certain areas of your life. This is so that you can use it as jet fuel and actually make a bigger impact. It's like they're saying it's like a supernova. So the best thing you can actually do is take time going inside yourself and remembering everything, but also don't be afraid to go into Dark Night of the Soul. You might feel very comfortable in this energy because it's a closer connection, but there's also an energy of knowing that when you are in this Dark Night of the Soul energy, when you are in your shadow self, you have ability to connect with these shadow entities or energies that you are here to deal with in some way, shape, or form. So through that, know that you will know where to go, but don't be afraid to go into the shadow aspect of it, because even in the shadow, there is light. And this is something that you know. Forged in fire, exactly. As soon as you hit the light, as soon as you hit the darkness, there's the light. And you will have an opportunity to reach a point in your life where every time you hit Dark Night of the Soul, or every time you go into the shadows, it's immediately exploded by this giant light that's a million times larger. Because there's no more energy within you to transmute and transcend. All you have to do is focus on staying in your body. Focus on allowing those around you to ascend. And the more that you do this, the more that you allow yourself to get sparked by the fire of the eternal flame of golden healing fire, the violet flame, universal source energy, all of this, the more you're going to be able to disconnect from all of that chaos, all of that misconstrued energy, all of that pain that doesn't belong in this realm. You doing this with yourself, having a clear, cleansed being that no longer needs shadow work and has transcended the light, the illusion of light and dark within you, and is just using your fullness of your being in order to recycle the energies within and around you and use yourself as literally a vessel, not for yourself and your healing, but for that of the collective and beings beyond the collective as a whole. That is a huge, huge mission. And with Forged in Fire and By the Moon, you have this ability to see what's coming before it comes. And you need to know that you know what you know. You need to be aware of the cycles that are going on and see when it will be the most effective for you to go into this energy, to access these shadows, to access these beings, these parts of yourself. Know that you have learned, you've graduated way early, and you will never be forgotten by your original home and collective. In fact, they are with you all the time, every day. They would love it if you connected with them. But you want to tell yourself, this past life version of yourself wants to let you know that everything you've experienced up until this point has been conscious. It has been on purpose, by you, for you. A lot of it hasn't been very comfortable, and they are recognizing this and acknowledging this, and they're saying that you are very strong, that abundance is on its way, that will help to make the rest of your path a lot easier. But they're saying don't forget where you came from, or don't forget where you've been. Because even if this past life isn't necessarily where you come from, it may be, it may not be. Don't forget where you've been. There's something about this life that's very, very prominent, and it has to do, again, with that authoritative position that you held within this collective. So, within a collective that doesn't see anyone as in a hierarchical standpoint, to have some sort of authority means that there is something else to look into, but they want you to sit in that energy, because there is another answer there for you to find. But it will be found not through the shadows, but by going through the shadows and seeing the light that comes through. So next time that you enter your shadow work, your dark night of the soul, or connect with malevolent seeming beings or something like this, have faith that everything's going to be okay and everything happens for a reason, and know that these are signs and synchronicities. Be aware of what's coming up, and know that the answers are coded within everything, and you already know this. You know where to look, what they mean, and where to find them. So, they're saying dig a little bit deeper. Don't be afraid to dig deeper, because the deeper down you dive, the further up you can go. And that is inherently recycling the collective. They're drawing me to inner earth right now. So you might be feeling called to ground yourself into your root star chakra, or ground yourself into inner earth, or ancient civilizations, or civilizations that exist within the earth, because there's an element here of almost, they're saying, like, forget the body you're in now. use it as a vessel. It is a channel. It is a channel between where you've been and who is affected the most. And these are beings that are not human. These are within the earth. Humans putting trash on the earth, putting, whether it's energetic trash or physical trash or anything like this, on the earth, is affecting the inside of the earth. And so there's an element of needing to go inward, inside the earth, inside yourself, inside your journey, inside the earth, in order to connect with, they're saying there's another collective, another being, another entity, another group of souls or something that wants to connect with you. And this is beyond what is on the outside of the planet. So I'm going to leave your reading there, group number 1. They're saying you know what to do, you know where to look, and I don't need to tell you anything else. They say I can check the bottom of the deck, so I will. Oh, I love it. Ask the Pleiades. So if you need any help, you know where to look. That's what they're saying. So I hope that this helps shed love, light, and clarity on your situation and your past life, group number 1. Thank you so much for being here. I hope this activated you in some way, shape, or form, and I love you endlessly. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, week, month, year, and incarnation in this beautiful realm. Namaste. Hi there, group number 2. If you selected the beautiful Desert Rose Selenite, then this is your past life regression reading. So I'm going to tune the energy of the reading that is between us for you and me with this Soul Star Chakra activating tuning fork to help raise the vibration of your energy with a focal point at the Soul Star Chakra right above your crown. The intention of this is to help draw out past life memories and allow your intuition to raise beyond the physical body, to allow you to activate and remember other incarnations that you have experienced. Okay. With that being said, you did select this beautiful desert rose, and desert rose has to do with deep cleansing and experiencing things from a first-hand basis. This does have to do a lot with guidance internally and externally, and it's also a crystal of great detachment. Now this is, as the name suggests, like finding life in a desert. The first thing that's coming to mind here for you, group number 2, is that in your past life, you were very nomadic. Wherever you were, whatever you were doing, you were very, very, I'm hearing hit the ground running. You were very much aware in your manifestation abilities, or you were always moving for some reason. This may have been because you lived a life elsewhere, such as within the water, or in a different dimension or different consciousness collective, or you could also have been a part of a culture on Earth, an ancient culture that used to travel quite a bit by foot. I am getting this perspective of yours that you saw the world a little bit differently than the rest of the world around you, even differently than your peers, and you have learned to detach from caring what other people think, because you know that in cleansing narratives, in cleansing unhelpful thoughts and emotions and energy that belongs to other people to sort out, not to your own, you're able to really, in this life, pay no attention to anything but your truest self, and this allowed you to explore and really find peace and gratitude in absolutely everything around you. I'm seeing a child running through a meadow with wide eyes, so happy with its arms spread out. So this is an indication to me that you felt free to roam. You felt free to, I'm hearing Born to Run by Bruce Springsteen. Like you just felt like this entire life you were able to see everything you wanted to see. You were able to travel, live the most exuberant, abundant life you could possibly imagine because you believed it was possible, and you didn't need anything other than yourself in order to create these experiences. For whatever reason, there was no attachment or relevance to you in material matters. Almost as though, even if in this life, for example, you had all the money or all the money to buy anything that you wanted, there's an energy of you not even acknowledging it, like you almost forgetting that it was there, because you were so focused on having an experiential life, on feeling abundant and fulfilled, and in when you had the opportunity to, allowing others to experience the same with you. I'm very much seeing somebody who goes with the flow, almost like a nomad or perhaps a drifter, where maybe you meet different beings in different places and they travel with you on to the next until it's time for you to move on, or you meet new people and sometimes you're alone and sometimes you're not, but it doesn't matter to you either way. This is beautiful energy, group number 2. So with that being said, I'm going to, there's one more thing. They're bringing me back to attachment. Now, desert rose selenite can help with addiction. It also is known to help with past, parallel, and future life regression, as well as connection with your spirit guides. But initially they brought me towards addiction or severe attachment towards something. You might notice that perhaps in this, they're telling me yes. So perhaps in this lifetime, this previous lifetime, you found something that you stumbled upon, that you absolutely fell in love with. And for this reason, in this life, this waking life now, you might feel a bit of an attachment to something that reminds you of this past life, or whatever this is that you stumbled upon. You might feel an attachment to your freedom. You could feel an attachment to something that reminds you of this past life. It could be traveling in general. It could be a particular hobby that you picked up, a particular person that you met in a different body, or something like this. This could also be they're telling me it's not a maladaptive coping mechanism, but it is something that you, I'm hearing someone saying like, I'm obsessed, but in a good way, in a lighthearted way. They're also showing me a mother. So in this lifetime, there will be some sort of mirroring between lack and abundance, where the abundance side, this will be mirrored with your relationship with one of your parents, whichever has a more nurturing effect towards you. And they're bringing me back towards this attachment. So this could be as well, group number 2, that you are very independent, very detached. With this traveling spirit of yours, you could have a lot of Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, but you can also have a lot of, I'm hearing Libra, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, a lot of earth and air. Maybe that you feel comfortable perhaps with those elements, or maybe check out your sun, Mercury, and ascendant signs for more on that. Also your north and south node. For example, your south node might give you a bit of an indication about what this is that you stumbled upon, that you feel very attached to in this life. Your north node will be, of course, the tunnel or the channel that you will walk in order to balance out that energy, but there's nothing wrong, because this will be something that you admire, something you adore, something that you have a lot of love towards in this life, because you stumbled upon it in the last. Now, I'm going to get into your cards. I'm starting out with the Mystic Shaman Oracle deck. So I'd like to channel, please, directly the past life of group number 2. What messages about the past life would you like to share with group 2 today to help them activate, to help them understand, to give them clarity, guidance? Okay. So we have Taming the Wind at the bottom of the deck. Now this very much is synchronistic as far as going where the wind blows you, and also creating stability and physical changes in this life. You could be someone who loves to travel in this life, but there is an indication too of you being very, very cultured, very knowledgeable. It is very apparent that whatever knowledge you have learned in your past lives, you carry with you now. And that, in and of itself, is very, like I said, it's very apparent. It's very obvious to those that you meet in this life. And there's almost an energy that you cannot be tamed. And why would anyone want to tame you? Because they almost don't know what to expect out of you next. You are definitely here to make some kind of change on this earth, whether or not it's on purpose, just by being yourself. And I'm noticing this Nautilus or Fibonacci spiral here. So you have a great skill. You might be a seer, you could be a mystic, an oracle, you could be some sort of like clairvoyant, clairaudient, something like this, or just have a really good gut instinct. Even your internal compass could be very spot on, even when it comes to navigating or foraging or something like this. There is this ancient love and knowledge of the land that you currently walk on that was not taught to you in this life. There are some things that you obtain, that you speak, that you know, that seems to be very, very ethereal or ancient or lost in nature. Now the cards, I only got 2 cards for group 1, but I'm going to, they're saying don't pull all of them, but I will take a peek at what they are. You have the hummingbird. Hummingbird is such a very beautiful and powerful totem animal, for one. So hummingbird is a card of the fire element, but it also indicates flexibility. And I'm kind of noticing now that there is a small lotus at the bottom of the card. So hummingbirds are known for being the only bird that is able to fly in any direction that he wants. He can stop, go up, down, left to right, backwards, forwards, vertical even, which is a skill most birds do not have. And there is a full moon. So there's an indication that you have waxing and waning cycles, and working with them is very helpful for you currently, but you also were a master in a past life at picking up on cycles. As you were traveling, you would be able to get up and go on a whim at a moment's notice. And apart from this, you also knew when to go where and when to leave as well. You knew when your time was coming, and you also were aware of where and when you were needed and where and when you were not. But I'm getting that you didn't travel as much out of necessity as you did for leisure. Again, with this full moon, there is a culminating of energy, and the wings are pointing towards like the left, which indicates the past, where the tail is indicating the future. So there's an indication that you might be feeling very resonant with this lifetime currently, or you might like to pick up some skills that you learn, such as humming, so singing perhaps, bird, like flying, literally traveling, that came up again earlier. You might like gardening a lot, but with the hummingbirds, this might be a sign that you see when you are connecting with parts of yourself that you encountered in that past life. Or maybe when you are encountering the reincarnated version of souls and beings that you met there as well. Again, he is looking towards the past, which from where I'm facing is the north. So there's an indication as well that your past contains a bit of your future. There is some sort of key to unlock for your current life, for your mission, that indicates that you doing this regression, whether you carry this further or you get all the activation you need from this reading, this tapping into this lifetime in general is going to allow you to find more flexibility in your day-to-day life. Now, I didn't even get to the numbers yet, so we do have number 26. I am noticing that this is an air element card on this deck, but hummingbird is that of fire. Birds, of course, are air, so you might feel very connected with birds in general. Again, 26, this indicates both Taurus and Virgo, Venus, and Mercury. So this coming together, you discovering what it is that you truly are passionate about, allowing yourself to tap into luxury, to be flexible. Maybe you like to stretch, maybe you like to dance, you like to practice yoga or Pilates or something like this. Your physical body will have a way of expressing this energy. And it will be very tangible. It will be something that you find yourself doing or feeling called to do in your day-to-day routine. You might feel very conscious about exercise, about humanitarian efforts. You might also feel very passionate about taking time to yourself and also healing in general, healing yourself, healing others, because you know that the light is found within. There's an indication. I'm hearing Who Says You Can't Go Home by Bon Jovi in my head. So you always know that, now I'm hearing Back to You by Selena Gomez. There's an indication that no matter where you roam, okay, lots of songs coming through. You could be a musician or musical. You could sing as well. That song, no matter what you are, I will always be with you. So there's a lot of songs about knowing that at any moment you can go back to this energy. It's almost like you're so connected with this past life that this life might sometimes feel like a dream, or the other way around. You might experience this past life in your dreams a lot, and they could be lucid. They could be like you could travel there astrally. You could have experiences in this realm with beings that you've met in the past, whether they are incarnated here or not, as spirit guides. And then of course 2 and 6 is 8. This does indicate that you are meant to do something great because you are able to see the beauty in everything and organize it in a way that allows for both, I'm hearing luxury and clarity, along with structure. There's an indication of you making things beautiful again, or allowing people to find their flexibility, seeing opportunities in hurdles. That is allowing you to transform yourself and transform your life. Now, whatever path or whatever, I'll say, cards you were dealt in this incarnation, there's an indication that you're able to get through anything swiftly. And now this hummingbird, you can stay like tiny and cute and sweet while you do it at the same time. There's this energy of grace about you, and I'm hearing the word flutter. So you might literally, there's something that you do where you flutter, whether when you get anxious, you could twiddle your thumbs. You could be a ballet dancer and do a lot of bourrées, could be your favorite move. Or maybe you could paint, and the stroke that you do is a bit of a flutter. There is something, or even that was kind of reminding me of like a guitar pick, or like on the piano or the flute when you're playing like a trill. So there's something about you where you are known for your flutter, or you will be. And there's the crows right on time. So you're definitely watched over by the birds around you, and you're definitely very flexible in some way, and you're meant to culminate these in order to transform yourself. But also there is going to be a lot of financial abundance here, because 8 is a number of monetary abundance, shared inheritance, collaboration as well. But 2 and 6 also are both earth signs with Taurus and Virgo. So there's an indication that we have 2, 6, 8, and I'm hearing 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? You're very appreciated by your surroundings and the people in your life, whether or not you know it. And you're even being rooted on from the spirit realm by beings that you met while you were traveling in this past life. Now I'm going to see. Okay, sorry. I was asking, since I'm not taking all of these, I was just asking quickly which side of the pile I should start on. So, you have Wild Woman. Beautiful, beautiful. Now, Kesha is the first thing that came to my mind when I saw this, but I would really like to call attention to 2 factors. And this will be about you or your past life, please. Your past life, but these are traits that you still encounter, or that you still have, but you are more or less still growing into. Call attention to, you have 26, 62, 2 mirroring numbers, and you have a full moon and a new moon. So, we did get an indication right off the bat that you could go through cycles in your life. You could be great at identifying cycles. You could wax and wane with the moon, or you could feel very called to water in this lifetime, believe it or not, because there's an energy of you have experienced air, you have experienced earth, you have that fire within, so you might feel now really called towards water. Or perhaps you started or ended your nomadic journey somewhere where you were either surrounded by or immersed in water in some way. And I'm also hearing that song, Home is Whenever I'm With You. So, now as I'm looking at the Wild Woman and Taming the Wind cards, I'm noticing here that there are so many ways in which both of these women are adorned here. And I mean, she's wearing so many bangles. She's even doing ballet hands here, so you could be a dancer or some sort of artist, definitely creative in some way, because hummingbird also represents creativity, but in a practical way. Noticing this flock of birds as well as the sparrow on this card. But you might be someone who loves nature. You could love to collect little trinkets. You could love to wear jewelry. You could love to dress differently from what is popular, because there's an indication here of your style being where you are or who you are, or it's like if you see a feather that was meant to represent a sign for you, you put it in your hair, and you travel somewhere where you earn the marks of a warrior and you get that warrior mark, and then they put something in your hair, and then you get gifted a bangle from somewhere that you go, and you learn how to make perhaps an arrowhead because there's this bit of a shape here. Just there's an indication of you collecting so many memories and experiences and just being adorned with them in your last life, and perhaps even in this life as well. This could be a skill or a hobby that you find that you carry over, where everything about you is a bit unique and has its own special story. Someone might look at you and say, what an interesting top, what an interesting bracelet you're wearing, and you would have the most incredible story, something that likely most people haven't experienced something similar to go along with why you have this. So you may have like a little bit of like a treasure collection. I'm getting that you did in your past life, but you didn't always need to carry it with you because you would always know where to find it, whether you kept it somewhere. I'm seeing like Ariel the Little Mermaid and her little treasure trove. So there could be as well here when she's singing, look at this stuff, isn't it neat? Wouldn't you think my collection's complete? So you certainly have gadgets and gizmos aplenty, group number 2. But really what I'm getting, omen is standing out here a lot. Like everything is an omen to you. You follow the birds, you check for the moon cycles, and what you choose to wear. You might be very into like energy work or wearing crystals. You could be very much into collecting, as I said, little trinkets from your journey, and then perhaps carrying those things with you, maybe sentimental objects from your ancestors, passed on loved ones, and things like this, in order to harness that energy for that day, moment of time, or for whatever it is that you're doing. Now you might, for example, wear like a bracelet or a necklace that was from a passed on loved one in this life, and you wear it whenever you go out to do something where you wish they were with you, or where you wish you could take them with you. Now, I'm going to get back more into this past life a little bit. There is an element here of hair that's coming out very strongly. And I'm hearing that song, Girls, do 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 do. So, however you identified in this past life or now, there is an indication of you being in a very strong sort of feminine energy, almost like a Lilith-esque kind of energy, almost like if Pallas and Lilith like came together, and it was like this beautiful, like abundant nomadic being. So this might be a full moon here, but I don't want to just pull at that. They're calling my attention back to the 55. There is some sort of physical change. Maybe you like to change your appearance quite a bit, or maybe people don't know what you're going to look like the next time you see them. There's an indication that in your past life you were always growing and evolving, and I'm getting that you were always, I'm hearing the term culturally appropriate. So there's an indication, for example, if you were traveling a lot in this last life, everywhere you would go, you would learn from the people of that land, learn from the people of that community, and truly respect and honor their culture. And in this, you were able to have and collect this worldly vibe, this worldly image, this worldly knowledge about you. And again, this is kind of like pulling like you being yourself in some way is like collectivizing, bringing together a lot of different beings, a lot of different people of different belief systems, of different cultures, of different nationalities, different heritages, maybe if even this is a general reading, so this could apply in a lot of different ways, but things that are coming up for me here is somebody who like traveled the entire world and was able to by foot experience every continent and several different countries here, and really spend time like localizing in each one. Another thing that's coming to mind is perhaps you could have been a starseed, or you could have been from a different dimension or realm altogether, and you had the ability to travel freely between them. For example, maybe you were pinging between like Lyra to Pleiades to Arcturus to Sirius to Orion. Another example that's coming up is perhaps you were from Mintaka, and then you were displaced and needed a place to go, and you ended up going down to Atlantis and eventually maybe like joined a culture in the water or something like this, and then reincarnated to a place where you were near the water. So energies like this are kind of coming up quite a bit. Now you'll know your own stream of consciousness where it's been, but there is an indication it could be all of the above. It could be something similar but not quite there, of whatever I just mentioned. You will know for you where you've been. I'm seeing Ir here, so you'll know where you've been and you'll know where you're going. But there's an indication too that you might be particularly called. Now this is 88, which is such a powerful angel number. This is particularly an angel number that indicates power. It does indicate a lot of other things, such as death, rebirth, transformation, inheritance, generational wealth. It indicates sex. It indicates, of course, financial and material abundance. But it also indicates creating a legacy. It indicates strong power, fortitude as well. So it's almost like you are an authority. You could have been an authority figure, or perhaps I'm seeing like the Prince and the Pauper in my mind. So there's almost an energy here of you not taking the throne that you were given, or not acting upon some sort of leverage that you had, or not like you chose to use your abundance to learn, to accumulate experience, to learn people, to learn different beings, different cultures, different societies, to really like learn from the earth, to learn every plant. I'm hearing Colors of the Wind by Pocahontas in my head. So that is very, like, that's coming through very, very strongly. I don't know all the words off the top of my head, but I used to play it on the piano like all the time when I was little. So that kind of, to me, like, there's something like symbolic to me about playing that song on the piano. It's like you not only is the song coming through, but it's the recreation of that song, like putting those vibrations back out into the world and using creative ability to spread the message that is underlying there. And also I am seeing like a rainbow, but it's not coming through. You could resonate in this lifetime as LGBTQIA or something like this, but the first thing that really came to my mind truthfully there was like an element of being able to see past the veil, because you've experienced and traveled it enough times that it just was imprinted in you when you incarnated here. So these channeled messages are just flowing through, like a lot. So you guys must be very, very intuitive, very psychic, very spiritually connected in this life, whether or not you practice, you honestly might practice spirituality. You might practice something a bit from a bunch of different cultures, or you could just have like this worldly knowledge about you in general. The messages are really like really coming through here, so I'm gonna actually get into your tarot cards. So group number 2, I would like to channel directly your past life and see what you would like to say to group 2 about this life. Okay, that wanted to come out. I'll take a sneak peek, but I would like straightforward flying cards, please. So 5 of Swords. Yeah, so difficulty in speaking your truth occasionally. Now, because there's an indication of not knowing what or who you can trust, what or who you can resonate with, because there's a little piece of you that resonates with everyone, but that is not always mirrored to you back in return. Now, as soon as these cards came out, I started to hear Someday My Prince Will Come from Snow White, and this is looking like her wishing well a little bit. So you could have this wish that you really want to really have, like this manifestation or wish or dream that is repeating in this life, but you could also have like a wish that is very, very strongly like you've had since you were a little kid and you maybe didn't know why. Also, I'm seeing the caterpillar here, and it's reminding me of Alice in Wonderland when he's like smoking his little hookah and he's like, "Who are you?" A-E-I-O-U. So you might be a little bit cheeky, but you might also be trying to like pinpoint somebody who can reflect your interests back to you, or somebody who can reflect your, I'm hearing like diversity, facetedness. But I'm looking for please channel messages about the past life, please. They're saying that there was, in some way, there was this great love, but it was fresh, it was young, it never got to come to fruition fully. So notice that there is a caterpillar, there are a lot of little eggs here, there's a butterfly, and there's a rose. Now, it's all swirling around this cup, this filled cup, but no one is like drinking from it. No one is really acknowledging that the cup is there. So there's this indication of things coming. Let's see, we have 1, 2.5 spirals. So you have perhaps 1.5 I'll say cycles left, because this can take place either in lifetimes or just within like encounters or something like this, just cycles in this current life. There is an indication of knowing that there is at least another being, because here there are quite a few, but there are 3, 4, 5, 6 other beings incarnated at least here that are able to resonate with your energy, that remember you, that you've remembered, that you've encountered in this past life, that reincarnated with you here now. But there's an indication of you looking for them. So maybe you have passed a few, but they may have been fleeting. Perhaps some of these relationships are still young, you're still nurturing them, or you have just met them, or they're new in your life. And there's another one where it is different from all the rest, and it is fully blossomed, fully evolved, and it won't go anywhere. But there is an indication, I'm being reminded, that roses have thorns. So something that is prickly. So take that as it resonates. Now with Knight of Pentacles, this indicates slow and steadiness, and I'm also being drawn towards his tobacco pipe here. So, and actually what's coming to mind is that the indigenous Mesoamericans, actually, they used to not inhale tobacco when they smoked it. They used to hold it in their mouth and release it, and they would only use tobacco as an offering of gratitude. So they would use, of course, holy tobacco, sacred tobacco that was harvested freshly from the earth when the earth was ready to give the tobacco when it naturally fell off the plant or was naturally ready to be harvested. And from there, they would adorn it with fire, and they would bring it into their mouth. And with this, as they breathed in the tobacco, they would set an intention, and they would breathe in gratitude for their abundance, gratitude for their harvest. And then as they exhaled, they would send it out with a wish, or with a manifestation, or with just a message of gratitude for the earth, or for intentions of next year's harvest or next month's harvest. And this is really coming to mind here. I'm not condoning anybody to smoke tobacco or pick up any habits like this, but it's coming through very strongly, so I needed to say it. So you might, for example, if you might experience clarifaction, which is spiritual smelling, like there's clairvoyance and clairaudience. The clarifaction is through the nose. You might smell tobacco as a sign of as a sign in general. Now this indicates some sort of past life connection, and this is coming through really strongly. You might have a strange aversion or a strange attraction towards the smell of tobacco or like pipes or something like this. Now also horses, white horses could be significant, but I'm also noticing that he's kind of like a dusty gray. He kind of looks like this is a white horse that like got his hair dyed and was kind of like dirty from a long trek, and he's wearing a lot of armor, and it's almost reminding me of a tortoise. So, and of course this is the Knight of Pentacles, which is very slow moving. In this past life, it's like you took step number 1, and I'm hearing the song "You'll Be in My Heart." So there's like this indication that there's something that crossed your path where you felt you totally resonated with it. They're indicating that this is like a piece of knowledge that you have or will stumble across again in this lifetime. This could be a skill, hobby, trade, or maybe it's even your abundance in general, because with this 88, the Ace of Cups and the Knight of Pentacles, your passions that have incarnated with you here and now have led you towards your skills that you have incarnated with. Because of this, they're leading you towards your abundance so that you can regain or re-inherit that energy that you left behind. And with this, along with this comes transformation of all of your surroundings. With this comes, I keep hearing authority. With this comes you having freedom to travel and be who you want. Also, financial abundance, new knowledge, time to read, time to travel, the ability to take time out, enjoy yourself, relax, fully cleansing yourself, your energy. And there's also an indication of family, community, soul growth, love even coming out here. So it's like when you reincarnated, it's almost that you knew that you would be coming back to whatever energy you left your previous incarnation with. There's an indication that you knew that you were going to get back to where you were. And now Back to You by Selena Gomez is coming back in my head again. So you could like that song. That song could pop up as a sign for you, or just listen to the lyrics and you might pick out some things. But there's this strong indication in your past life. It's like I just keep hearing, I know, I go back to you. But this doesn't need to be one thing. There's like an indication of you putting a pin in something, saying like, ta-ta for now. And I'm hearing Hakuna Matata in my head as well. Like just saying like ta-ta for now, like it's okay, I'll see you in the next run, and then just peacefully like incarnating like consciously, and then knowing that you'll have to experience a journey where you're going to come back full circle. And when you do come back full circle, it will be to a fully blossomed rose. Except this time you'll be on your horse. You will have the ability to travel. You will have your material abundance. You will be a little bit armored. And also, protecting your head could be significant as well. This is really standing out to me as well. You might feel called, or you might want to pick up wearing a hat or wrapping your head or keeping your hair up in some way, shape, or form when you go out, when you travel. Your hair contains all of your DNA, and as we know, DNA stores your memory. It's also like the antennas of the human person. So the longer and thicker like your hair has grown, it indicates like growth through adversity. It indicates transmuting and working through a lot of energy, and it's pressing out the crown of your head. But also the crown of your head is very sensitive, very susceptible to energies that are around it. It's literally the intuitive psychic center of your body. So wearing a hat protects your crown chakra or your third eye if you pull it down more. Wrapping your hair also helps to protect and nourish that hair. Like take special pay special attention to your hair in this lifetime. Also, hair could be significant in some way. Maybe you've been feeling like you want to like shave it off. This is why monks do this, because it symbolizes detachment from who they have previously been. So yeah, you might want to take up, at the very least, like putting your hair up in a braid or a bun, or wearing a hat, wrapping your hair, something like this. Particularly when you go out in nature or you're around other animals or other beings, in order to keep your own energy to you and not let it get affected by many others. Also, this is an indication too. Notice how I'm coming back to how she has a lot of things in her hair in both of these cards. So you can choose what you wish to mesh with your DNA, and a great way to connect with this is to put things in your hair. Now, I'm not recommending that you appropriate any culture, but I am letting you know that there are vibrational reasons that this has been passed down through generations. And I'm just going to leave that there. Do what you feel called to do in the ways that you feel the way that you feel drawn to, and the ways that feel appropriate for your time, your place, your being that you are. Take what resonates and leave what doesn't, always. Yeah. Druids are coming to my mind as well. I'm seeing druids, I'm seeing like box braids, I'm seeing just like so many beautiful things, like just being so many different ways. Like, see which cultures you feel very drawn to in this lifetime. Also check out, of course, your physical heritage, your body's bloodline, as well as your soul's incarnation's bloodline. And look at the hair practices or look at the hair practices, the common hairstyles, the common, if there was perhaps a ritual to put henna in your hair, or to wrap your hair, or to wear braids, or to put feathers in your hair, or something like this. Going back to the roots, and then understanding why energetically. This will have some sort of past life trigger or activation for you that will help you to connect, I'm hearing, with your ancestors, and also passed on loved ones from perhaps this past life. There's the Ace of Wands at the bottom of the deck. This indicates, of course, passion, but great spiritual enlightenment as well. Creativity. Now, there are a lot of flowers here as well, and this snake. This can be the Kundalini snake, but he kind of doesn't look, he's not going straight up. He's kind of spiral bound. And I'm noticing again that there are 2.5 cycles that have happened here. So there's an indication too that you may have traveled the world already. You may have traveled the world twice and then some. Or everywhere that you went in your past life, you went more than once. So you're quite familiar with whatever area you have traversed. And there's this calling to go back to it. Perhaps you are able to spiritually, perhaps you have remote viewing, perhaps you have very strong clairvoyance, you can tap into your Akashic records, past life regression might be familiar to you. But whatever this is, you're able to reconnect with this energy, and you're being called to ground it in the physical realm through your creativity, whether this is writing, whether it is fiction or nonfiction, or it's singing, or you are expressing yourself in some way, drawing what you see, painting it, whatever you do that is creatively yours, even if it's dancing, creating the shapes and connecting with the places that you've been, or the shapes that you encountered, or something like this. Allowing yourself to embody that energy and then ground it. 55, again, is grounded energy, and we do have 2 8s. Your creative ability, when it pertains to this past life, you fully bringing this to the forefront is going to bring you, I will say monetary abundance because that keeps coming up again, but I'm hearing generational change, like generational wealth, yes, but generational legacy, like generational change. And this is like, I'm seeing like humanitarian. As soon as I said that, I heard humanitarian, and I'm not really seeing like any indicators of Aquarius here, but we do have 55, which is a 10, which is Capricornian and Saturnian energy. So this is like through restriction, liberation is found. This is through tradition. What's the word? Like innovation. Yeah, there we go. Through tradition, innovation is found. I saw 1441 on the recording time, which is 55. They're like, there's a reason you were having a hard time stumbling upon your words. It's because group number 2 is guided intuitively. very, very strongly towards what they're supposed to be doing, what they want to do, what they need to do. And there's this very, very strong internal compass about you. They're drawing me back to the hummingbird, where you cannot help but do what you're meant to do. It's almost like you have tunnel vision. Yes. Now I'm hearing, you live in my dream state, you live in my fantasy. Tyler, the Creator. Oh. Okay. Tower with Strength is coming out. Whew. It's like, don't stop me now. Don't stop because I'm having a good time. I'm having a good time. Tower with Strength. Wow. This is a card of like, nothing can bring you down. Literally. Like, to have Tower and Strength at the same time, it's like, anything that shifts in your surroundings, you stay grounded, you stay stable, you're not shaken by anything. Holy guacamole. It's crazy. And at the bottom of the deck, 8 of Cups. Yeah, you know when to walk away. You know how to walk away. You have no problem walking away. I was picking up this like Uranian kind of vibe here, like Aquarian, almost like 11th house, and we were getting 10. So there's this indication of like maybe your freedom is something that is very, very powerful, or very, very important to you, and this is something that is like inherent. And there's another 8 3 times, which is creating your own abundance. And you know, I'm hearing like ain't got time for the haters. Like, so funny. Group number 2, there's this indication as well that yeah, you knew when to walk away. And this had nothing to do with anything personal. I'm getting that you've broken a lot of hearts, either in your last life or in this life. This card in this deck, because there are so many like little things that literally say H2O. If you have a water near you, please take a sip of it or drink a little bit of extra water today. Okay. Also take a look at this figure here if you are able to, if it's safe and you're able to, because I think that this might trigger something for you. Perhaps like a statue, monument, or something that you've seen that might be prolific for you. Okay. Now, since we are over the amount of time I wanted to record, please, past life of number 2, give me some more cards. The channeling for this group is absolutely insane. You're definitely very highly intuitive. So we have 8 of Cups and Queen of Wands. You're always looking for something bigger, something better. And that's not because there's 17 on the recording time, 88. Whew. You could have life path 8. You could have life path 17, 1 or 7. You could have significant aspect in your ascendant and or the 7th house, or just in Aries and Libra in general. Check out your Venus. Also check out your Mars. You could have Mars in Libra. You could have Venus in Libra. You could be working through, check out to see if you have like Saturn or Chiron or your North Node or something like this, something that encourages growth. See if you have something like that going on in the 2nd or 6th house, as well as in Taurus or Virgo. Or see if you have like, for example, like Lilith transiting your Mercury, or something like that. Okay. Oop, thank you. 7 of Cups, Page of Swords. You can literally do anything that you want to. You can go anywhere that you wanted to go. I will always be waiting. Okay, King of Pentacles, 4 of Pentacles with the Empress popping out at the bottom of the deck. 4 of Cups, 44, King of Swords. Now I'm hearing again, or when you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. Sorry, my voice is scratchy, it's early. So yeah, okay, so you are collecting your assets for something. You're putting something together. I don't know if you know what you're preparing for. Maybe you feel called towards something, or you want to do something, or maybe you're making preparations intuitively and you're like, I don't know what this is for, but I'm doing it. I'm out here just doing it. Whatever this is, there's indication, both of these cards indicate moving in silence, keeping something close to your chest. I'm hearing like, you know, they say like successful people, like they move and then they talk about what they did. They don't talk about what they're gonna do, because then people watch you while you do it. There's an indication of like moving in silence and then people looking back and being like, whoa, group 2, what? I'm getting that you did this a lot in your last life, particularly when it comes to moving around, meeting new people. You could be re-encountering a lot of different beings in this life, and they're like, wait, you knew George? I don't know how you knew George. George is from the other side of the planet. How in the world do you know George? And you're like, well, because I've, been there 9 times. Or because, oh, we go way back, me and George. That's just a random name. But also, like, I'm hearing, like, lion in sheep's clothing. So there's this indication that you might like to come off as a little bit protective, but this is because it's because you want to provide comfortability. I just saw like blue earth, blue ocean, blue planet, like in my mind. So maybe there's this indication of like getting your ducks in a row for something, like a big master plan, or wanting to make a difference, but something that's really positive. And you know that you will be guided, and you know that you're meant to both master and teach something, because 44 indicates stepping into a teacher role and creating something permanent, creating a foundation, but also being guided by angels in order to do it. So there's this indication too of you could be into witchcraft or spells, or maybe you like journaling, writing to something or someone. But at the end of the day, there's something that's very abundant and stable, like a very stable foundation that you have built or are building. I'm hearing castle in the sky, so there could be, and like cherry blossoms. So any of those could be significant signs for you. And look, he's like holding flowers, like waiting for the Empress to come. And the Empress, there's the Queen of Swords. And there's the Queen of Cups. Okay. So, okay, so you are, she's like, not yet. I'm the Empress. I'm not going to accept Queen of Cups. I'm not going to accept Queen of Swords. I'm not going to accept Queen of Pentacles. There's an indication of like, I've been there. I've done that. I see what you take to the table. I see, I've been there. And you are able to like see right through everything because you've experienced nearly everything in some way, shape, or form. This has allowed you to move on when you needed to move on. It's also allowed you to not let other people feel left out in the cold. Now, Five of Pentacles is the card of being left out in the cold, but on this particular card, this man is like helping the little prince. He's like, come here, it's okay, like I'll take you to the well, like you don't have to feel alone. So there's this indication, something about you makes everybody feel welcome, makes everybody feel comfortable. And this is because of this past life. This is something that you were naturally talented at in your past life. So now you like to move in silence because there's this indication of knowing that so many people here now in this plane, in this incarnation, so many people are hurt. So many people experience pain, and you know exactly why, exactly how, and it's entirely understandable and validated. But there's this indication as well, watch what comes after, the Knight of Cups, of you bringing fulfillment, bringing hope, bringing peace to nighttime again, saying, hey, like, don't be afraid of the dark, drink a little bit of water, what are you passionate about, protect your hair, protect your energy. Group number 2, I'll say it again, please protect your energy. And for this, you just feel on top of the world. Yeah. So there's this indication of knowing that you're fine, almost better off alone, but that doesn't mean that you have to be. It just means that you have this powerhouse of an energy within you, and your past life truly, do you want me to pull? There's 9 of Wands there. Okay. 99. In the future, you don't have to be cautious about the foundation that you've built. You don't have to be overly pessimistic or aloof or kind of detached from the physical realm, because you are meant to explore it. You're meant to experience all of what the physical world has to offer you. And Temperance, I'm hearing when you wish upon a star again, there's this indication of having done it, of allowing yourself to be fully hydrated with all of the emotion and the intuition that water has to provide for you. And also, speak to yourself, affirmation, speak to others, kind words all the time, because we are made out of water. And you know that when you speak to water, their molecules form to whatever vibration that is. For example, if you whisper love, literally the word love, or gratitude, or Reiki, gratitude is the highest vibration of love, unconditional love. And if you like whisper this to the water molecules will take shape. If you say something nice to a cup of water and you say something mean to a different cup of water and you look at them under a microscope, you'll be able to see the difference. And our bodies are mostly water. Our earth, our planet is mostly water. And so there is this ability that you have to make everything and everyone feel comfortable. But you are such a loving being, and you always have been and always will be. I'm getting group number 2. And with Temperance, number 14, you are guided to take this love, and 14 is a number 5. There's your 55, 5 3 times. You are able to make a change by being yourself. And I know that words like hopeless optimism, hopeless romantic, toxic positivity are dished around these days, but what you're actually doing is showing people that they don't have to be afraid of the dark. And that yes, you have to, in order to experience true light, you have to face the darkness, because one doesn't exist without the other, but that is just the illusion of duality in a realm that is still multidimensional through and past that. And you are aware of this. You've traveled this, you've experienced it, you have seen people's pain firsthand, you have seen people's joy firsthand, you've learned their traditions firsthand, and you are uncovering secrets and helping people to understand each other one step at a time. Now I'm hearing One Step at a Time by Jordan Sparks, and I love that intro. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, with those like heel clacks in the beginning. Maybe you like to wear heels or like shoes or something like that, or maybe you just like the sound of like clacks. There's a horse as well. I'm kind of hearing this, like the sound of like horse hooves or like little paws on hardwood or something. Maybe very drawn towards animals, or maybe you don't feel totally comfortable grounding yourself unless you are very comfortable in your surroundings, or maybe you're very precise or very picky about where you are barefoot. Like it has to be in nature in the middle of nowhere, not like on cement in a city or something like that. That's just a random message that came through for some of you. And you have the Chariot, Cancerian energy with all those fours coming out. It doesn't surprise me. You do have a number 7, which kind of wonderfully wraps this reading up. Expect not to be alone anymore, not to see things from a bird's eye perspective. Notice all these pyramids going on here, how he's kind of seeing things. He's like, oh, so long, farewell, Avita Zen, goodbye. And I'm seeing Chariot, I'm seeing hair again, so pay attention to that hair. What are you doing with your hair today? What are you doing with it yesterday? And I saw 5:50 on the recording time, so make that change. If you want to shave your head, if you want to change the color of your hair, if you want to make your hair like purple, the color of the crown chakra, be conscientious about the vibration that your hair is attuned to, because this will make a large and surprisingly big change in your life. If your hair is red, you will be more materially abundant. If your hair is purple, you will have more spiritual access. If your hair is orange, you will start to feel better throughout the day, more emotionally fulfilled, more maybe a little bit sensual. So pay attention to this, really do. And your past life self is coming through to tell you to go for it. Whatever this is that you're thinking about, go for it, because you have done a great job at closing and ending cycles, breaking. I'm hearing ancestral patterns. I'm hearing as you've collected a piece of energy from all these different places you've been, you almost collected a small piece of karma or a small piece of energy from each of them that you have cleared and transcended in this life. So because of this, your ability to have already done this, you have number 21, which indicates your uniqueness. And there's another indication too towards Venus and Mars. So whatever is your ascendant sign, check out what planets are transiting your ascendant. Not just what's like, look at what is conjunct your ascendant, but at the same time, look at what is like, I'm hearing like trine and quincux to your ascendant, because this will give you, and also square too, this will give you a very good idea of what cycles you are going to be able to complete when and where, and you already have the knowledge and the wherewithal to do this. Now this reading did end up getting very long, so I'm about to leave it here, but there's two more things that want to come out, so I'm going to tell you what they are. The snake and the rose, that could be an important like duality or dichotomy for someone. I don't know if there's like a story about a snake and a rose. Nothing's coming to my mind, but if you know something, okay. Something about, yeah, they're saying trust here. So I'm seeing a fox and I'm seeing a snake. So there's an indication too that there are energies around you that you cannot trust, and there are energies around you that you can trust. And he is falling towards the energies that you can trust. And he's coming full circle in a particular area. So leave everyone be, and then also take some time to tune into the 4 elements. If you do chakra balancing, or you do yoga, or you do any kind of energy balancing practice, whatever it is that you normally do, whether you balance your zodiac signs, you balance your chakras, whatever this is, you balance masculine, feminine, neutrality, they want you to focus in on the 4 elements, or more than 4 elements, whatever it is, whether you do 5 or 8, or however you resonate with the elements. So tap into the elements, and there's something about connecting with earth, but they're saying connecting with old earth, ancient earth, past earth, and new earth, that will help you to awaken your fire again, and really like help turn this smog into like clean breathing air. It's a really interesting message. You might be into like ecology, or I was getting a lot of humanitarian vibes off this pile, even though we literally never got the number 11 or anything like that. We did get a Page of Swords here, so I guess there's your Gemini, Libra, Aquarius right there. Okay. Knight of Wands and the Lovers with the Two of Wands. Okay. I'm hearing someday my prince will come again. So, you're about to experience another soul connection, or like a soul memory, someone that you've met before, someone that's going to help you on your mission. You're not going to feel alone anymore, but you might need to coax this energy out of heartache a little bit. Just continue standing in love, being your authentic self. Don't need or want or wish for anyone. And don't be guarded, because this other energy is hurt, and it just requires a little bit of nourishment, nurturing, emotion. Needs to know that the emotions, outpour of water, emotions and intuition can go into a jug that can, it's not going to spill out at the end of the day. Okay, well is very, I'm sorry, I'm channeling right now. Very deeply held emotion, and again with the moon here, so deeply held emotion coming out through this bucket, only a little bit of it, but where it goes needs to be safe. So safety is a big thing that's coming up, emotional safety. And then with the moon, again, check the moon cycle, see what's going on in your chart. Also, there's this depiction of kind of like the rose, and this always reminds me of Beauty and the Beast. We got the Four of Cups coming out earlier, which has the same picture on it. So there's this indication that you kind of are already aware of this, and this comes from your past life. You've done a lot of healing on it, and there's your other four with Cancerian energy. Check out, again, the moon in your chart. Cancer is a nod to the moon. And use your creative ability, your intuition, and something about making yourself at home, no matter where you are. Making yourself feeling comfy, cozy. Maybe you've been very stable in this life because you were so nomadic in the last life, but maybe what you really wanted in your last life while you were so nomadic was to just find somewhere to be home. And now you have somewhere that you are home. You're very stable in this life, and now all you want is to be nomadic. So there's this energy of this duality coming out, 2662, 88. This cycle is going to continue repeating. This is one of the cycles that you are endlessly in a loop of, and I'm getting that there's not really any like karma or kriya. Karma just means, it's Sanskrit for cleanse. It just means to release energy. This is just a cycle that you are going through, and it's like traveling stability, and I'm seeing a heart also in my mind's eye, and there's also a W, which can be an M, so take that if it resonates, however that will resonate for you. There are some eggs that have been hatched into caterpillars, and they turn into butterflies, and know that everything that you need to stay stable and have a foundation while you move on is on the way, but it's not quite time yet, because there's some sort of emotional choice you're going to need to make. And I'm hearing Sun Goes Down by Chance the Rapper. So you might get clarity watching the sunrise. That is very recommended in Ayurveda, in Ashtanga. It's actually very good for you to look at the sun, but only in the very, very, very early hours before it starts to get strong, because otherwise it's super bad for your eyes. But going back to the truth, going back to your truth, connecting with nature and tuning everything else out, knowing that you know what you know, and knowing that you are who you are, and not being afraid to take that next step. Because I'm noticing that these cards kind of started out very unafraid, unabashed. I'm hearing Hope is a Thing with Feathers by Emily Dickinson in my head, so check out that poem. It will have messages for you in it. Yeah. So it goes from being very like unapologetic, very free, very wild, to very stable, very hesitant, very practical. And then it's almost like flipping back over again. So allow yourself to feel your way into that fire, into that passion, that intuition, that spirituality, that inspiration, that creativity. And that will push you where you need to go. And from there, you will have everything you need to become stable. And allowing yourself to go through that flow is going to be very important. So focus on 26 and 62, focus on self-care and focus on your daily routine. And from there, focus on everything Venus, and then expressing that. Like, figure it out internally, feel good internally, and then express it outwards. And then from what you have outwards, it's going to come inwards. Because Virgo, it's very much solitude and self-reflection, healing, focusing on your routine, your exercise, your pets, your day-to-day life. And number 2, Taurus, it's very much consuming food, consuming nice things. Venus, but in an inward way, whereas Libra is Venus in an external way. So there's this indication of like what goes in must come out, what goes up must go down, and you are just noticing this cycle. So I'm hearing, don't you worry about a thing, pretty group 2. So this reading is phenomenally long, which is okay. I don't mind. I love you guys so much. So okay, in summation, your past life has a lot of hidden knowledge, or a lot of knowledge that you have collected that is unique only to you. It's like you are a pivotal point, an access point to something. I'm seeing like the spokes of a wheel, or even like an astrological chart. The point is to be that culmination point in the middle. And just seeing how the energies are balanced, that is not stamped on you. You are not your chart. But you are inclined towards your chart. And as you balance out your energies, like the point is to become ideally perfectly balanced and be that access point in the middle, like the middle of a wheel where all the spokes meet. And there's this indication here that you are very close, very, very close. Check out Taurus Scorpio in your chart, that duality, and also check out Virgo Pisces in your chart, that duality. And I think that will be your key to whatever it is that you are trying to culminate in this life. But have faith in your last life, because they already got you. They've already done whatever it is that you're trying to do. And because of that, that's why it almost feels like you're on autopilot. So don't be afraid to speak your truth. Don't be afraid to know what you know. You might have some information where you're like, how do I know that? Why do I know that? Why do I know that no one else is able to notice that? Or something like this. It's like you feel maybe a bit lost where you are right now. Know that there's a reason. Know that there's always a reason for the season, and your past life is there guiding you, almost as a spirit guide. I'm seeing a vision of somebody in a past life. Bear with me, I'm finishing up your reading, but this is the last thing. This is important, I promise. I'm seeing the vision of somebody in a past life who is sitting down in meditation, who is like aware of their passing to come. And through this, they are setting the intention of becoming a spirit guide, or sending all the guidance needed, possible, and like sending all of it to you now. Like sitting down saying, I'm sending my next incarnation all the guidance I could ever possibly need. Like taking the time to meditate and set that intention. Your past life self, your own self, is there with you as a spirit guide beyond your higher self, beyond your current spirit guides, your angels, ancestors, guides, all of this. So tune into them. Your future self is also with you, but as your timeline is subject to change, because you are still affected by free will, a past life is really something that's simultaneously happening, but it is a timeline that is set in stone. So know that they are there to guide you. I'm hearing fulcrum. They're helping you to solidify that bridge between all the different realms that you exist in. And they're helping you to bring, I don't know why I just made the sign of the cross and put it in a circle, but do some protective work and tune into all the different versions of yourself. You might feel particularly called towards threes, like the triple moon goddess, or like a trinity knot, or as above so below, things like this. Mind, body, spirit. Look for things in threes. Triads are very important for you for some reason. So with that being said, I'm going to end your reading there, finally. Group number 2. This was so long, but that's okay. I don't mind it. I love you guys so much. I hope that this helps shed love, light, and clarity on your past life, and I hope that you have an amazing rest of your day, week, month, year, and incarnation in this beautiful realm. Your past life self wants to talk to you, so set a little bit of time out to do that, and they love you very much, and you got this. Whatever it is that you think you don't got, or you're curious about, or whatever, you got it, all right? I love you, and thank you so much for watching. Please drop a like, comment, and subscribe, because it helps me help you, and helps you help me, so yeah, thanks again, love you, and namaste. Hi there, group 3, and namaste. If you selected this beautiful bloodstone, then this is your past life regression reading. So I am first tuning the energy of the cards, you and me, to the soul star chakra, which is the one directly above the crown chakra. This allows for access to past, present, future, and parallel lives, and the connection of collective consciousness. If you selected the bloodstone, this indicates that you have been through a great feat in a past life, often a symbol of a great warrior. Bloodstone also has to do with circulation. I'm getting blood detoxification as well. I'm seeing an image of someone sitting cross-legged on a mountaintop, praying or meditating. You may have been monastic, some sort of monk, yogi, devotee, or just someone who was very, very highly spiritual. You had a very strong connection with your internal world and the ether, as well as God or the universe, multiverse. I'm going to put the crystal down, and I will ask the cards what you need to know about this past life of yours. I would like to call the past life of group number 3 to the cards, please, to send the messages from them directly to you. Please tell us about your past life. Thank you. I am using the Mystic Shaman Oracle cards. You may have been some sort of shaman or healer. Now they're telling me to take all of them: the Coyote, Warrior Spirit, with 12, awareness of the subconscious, a rich internal world, completing of cycles and karma. I'm also hearing Mahasamadhi in my head, so you may have ascended in your past life, and there is an indication of your eyes being wide open, you accessing your fullest version of consciousness available to you. I did only take 2 of these cards for the last piles, but I do feel called to take all of them for you today. So you have Fire with the Rainbow, Soul Retrieval with the Rattle, and the Lower World. This is very fitting with the crystal that you chose, as well as my image of somebody on a mountain connecting with the other realms. I'm hearing you are a bridge between realms. There is perhaps an opportunity for you to finish or continue the work that you did in your last life in this incarnation. But first, your past life would like to draw attention to a little bit more about yourself in this past life, or your activities. They were correcting me there. So Fire indicates spirit. Number 19 is the Sun card, which is of course ruled by fire and the solar plexus. Your sense of self was highly spiritual. You did enjoy being creative as well, but you were able to see a lot. Now, this may have been a past life in some sort of ancient civilization where it was more normalized for people to tune into their spiritual gifts. You may have been part of Atlantis, Lemuria, or another lifetime on Earth where it was more normal for people to acknowledge the spirits of things, and they were able to see with their third eye more openly, able to see colors and orbs and auras. Synesthesia is coming to mind. You may have synesthesia in this life. This is not anything that is not available to you now, and it's not anything that was abnormal in this past life of yours. 41 indicates self-mastery and feeling at home in your internal world. You were known for being some sort of very, very powerful oracle, mystic, or devotee in a past life. In this life, you were able to fully understand your entire realm of your being, and I'm getting that people came to you to help free their souls. And I'm hearing that song, I Don't Want to Gain the Whole World and Lose My Soul. I believe it's by Toby Mac. And 49 does reduce to a 15. Before I move on, they would like to speak to you a little bit about your life path and your purpose. They're saying you may be feeling a little bit lost or confused about your direction right now because the information that you are able to seek is not able to access certain places or information that you have previously accessed that you now are able to access in this life. You may be looking towards organizations that are reminiscent of the energy that you walked through, but you might come to find that the exclamation point at the end of their sentence is not even the beginning of the first chapter of your book, so to say. Now, about your life path, you have a decision to make, and you will be aware about what this is. You may feel called to go on some sort of hermitage to where your physical bloodline is from, or you may have recently experienced something like this. You will be given an opportunity to retrace your ancestry, and this will give you some sort of clarity as far as some of those missing pieces that you are not able to find in the places you may be looking, or as far as what is available to humanity right now. You are also going to be standing in the fullness of your being, having completed a cycle, as well as being very devout. I see that you spend a lot of time in meditation, in your internal world, connecting with God, praying, connecting with the universe, the multiverse, exploring other collective consciousnesses. With 41, this reduces to a 5, and with the rainbow. Now, there are 7 colors in the rainbow which correlate with the 7 chakras, and we have this reducing to a 5, which means the difference is 2. You have a choice to make whether or not you are going to take a particular action in life. Now, this action will bring you a lot of fun and will make you feel completed and fulfilled. But there is almost a question of the matter of whether you will be fulfilling your fullest purpose. I'm seeing again that vision of you sitting atop a mountain, meditating or praying, or just connecting with your inner world. Now, this is begging the question, do you wish to live internally or externally? There may be a confusion or a habit or a limitation when it comes to consumption in your current life. This can manifest as over or under eating, exercising too much or too little. This can manifest as having dependency on consuming things such as substances or media. There's a relationship with consumption that is coming up here. You are being called to consume your own energy, recycle and reconsume your own energy so that it is not wasted and drained from you. But primarily, you have such energy and available to you. Your past life is making it known that you will be having clarity on your path very soon. You have been experiencing a divine detour as you finish cleansing the last bits and pieces of your energy that have been collected throughout the beginning of this life. With soul retrieval, your past life now, actually, I'm seeing the rest of this vision. So you sitting on a mountain in meditation, I'm seeing that you were waiting for yourself now to approach. They're saying that they've been waiting for you to reach this point of awareness, reach this point of this level of consciousness, or step towards them and ask for their guidance and assistance, which they have already set aside the energy and time for. Your past life sat down physically with the intention of providing you with guidance now. And they're glad that you are here, and they beg you to take some time connecting with them. Apart from this reading, although they will continue coming through to channel what you need to know to give you a place to start, somewhere to start looking, as well as more clarity on your path. They're saying this is the largest thing they want to talk to you about today. They're saying that there is so much going on behind the scenes and beyond the veil that you are aware of, and it's drawing me directly to the lower world card. They're saying that you are here to shake something up, to make a difference, but you have a very unique connection with the lower world. I'm also hearing the Titans as well as Tartarus the Ancient Ones, and the Necronomicon is coming to mind. You may have even lived through Babylonian times. Another message that is coming up is you might resonate with some sort of the LGBTQIA plus community. With the rattle, you were here to shake things up about the way that you live your life. Something about you, something about your expression is soon to change, and I'm being drawn to Ra, which is the Egyptian sun god. Now, the Babylonians are coming up, the Egyptians are coming up, Atlantis and Lemuria were coming up. Also, Shaolin is coming up. They're saying no, but where present-day Tibet is. Shambhala, for example, Inner Earth. You have been searching for where to go next. There is an indication of feeling your way through something that you have wanted to see for a while. And I'm seeing La Vie en Rose, the song. There's an energy someplace, somewhere, that is calling to you, is making you feel like this is where I must go, this is my home, this is where I'm meant to be. And you may be given an opportunity to fully detach from your life as you currently know it. And as things shake up, your past life is saying that this is a part of your past, your path. The more gracefully you let go of what you are currently holding on to, the more easily your life will flow and the more abundance will come to you. But you mustn't be afraid to go into the shadows, they're saying. Now, the ancients are coming back again in my mind. So, while I do not recommend you practicing any of the craft in the Necronomicon, as is thoroughly explained in the foreword to that book, I do recommend that you connect with your past life and see what areas of the shadow they wish you to dive into, and why, and when, and how. They have a lot of step-by-step instructions for you about your path. They're saying that most of your soul's calling, most of your path, is external to the 3D realm, which is why you may feel as though you do not fit in now. This could also explain why you may feel called to meditate a lot, called to practice things such as Kundalini yoga, or Qigong, Tai Chi, or other forms of alchemy, physical energetic alchemy. There's an indication that you do have a habit of picking up the karma of those around you, which was once unconscious and is slowly and surely becoming more conscious. You are very much aware of the fact that you do not have karma in this life, currently. And there's a need to fill this space. The reason that you are being called to let go of so many things is because you are experiencing a rebirth in your life, a rebirth in your relationships, a rebirth in your home, a rebirth in your expression of self, and you are not only rebirthing, but you are finally allowing your inner world to permeate externally. And there is something very, very unique about who you are, where you have been, and what you have access to that is not commonplace in your current timeline, your time and place. Again, they're calling my attention back to a divine detour that you've been on. And they're saying that just like a bow and arrow, they needed to pull your arrow to bend the bow so that you could precisely hit your target. They have been trying to help you to attune so that when you do take action, you hit precisely the bullseye. Moths are also a symbol of death and rebirth. I'm unsure if this is a dragonfly or a moth, but this also to me looks like an Amazonite, a green Amazonite. So you might be called to that crystal. Also, or an aventurine, but I'm really getting green Amazonite here. They're calling also attention to your eyes and your hair. They're saying there will be a change to come to one or both of these very soon, which will be very symbolic of the next part of your path. They would like to let you know that you are very fertile at this time, therefore you need to be cautious about where you are applying your energy. This is applicable to all areas of your life. So if you are spending extra time on your beauty routine, you will become more abundant in your beauty. If you spend extra time in your work, your work will become more abundant. If you spend extra time meditating, your internal world will become more abundant. This also is indicating that you are physically more fertile as well. So please, please be conscientious about who you are exchanging your energy with, particularly in a sexual way, whether through connection, physically, or distant. With the lower world, you are being called, they're calling your attention to the bridge between your solar plexus and heart chakra, where the lower realms, the lower chakras, meet the port of unconditional love. The reason for this is because there is a truth that you already know about the world, about the universe, about something that is going on in this realm, that you, because you have the sight, you are able to do something about. But a large part of this cannot be done in this physical realm. It must be done energetically, spiritually, vibrationally. Now they're saying that you want to hear more about your past life, so I will, they will channel through me this message for you. They're saying that in your past life, you really liked things simple. You ate a very clean and simple diet, usually the same 4 or 5 foods all the time on a rotating basis. They're saying that you really sucked the joy out of in a positive way, you embraced the joy out of every little thing. You're very grateful, very gratitude, and I am seeing that you dressed in some sort of silk or robes or cloth in some way. They are humming to me a tune that is unfamiliar to me, but they are saying that there is a tune that you used to love and hum all the time that would bring you back to center, and that as you were a child or a baby in this life, there is a tune that is very, very similar that you used to listen to as a baby that helped you to find calmness through past life regression. And while you might be able to find this tune in your internal world, and you might know which similar tune I am talking about, the two will not be one and the same. They're saying that in your past life, you had everything you could ever wish for and more. They're saying you did not wish for or hope for a lot, but that which you did was met to you with a plethora of extra abundance added on top of it, and you greeted everything with gratitude and a smile on your face. You had all you could ever wish for. I'm hearing the word meek and humble. Many came to you for advice, but they needed to be able to find you first, is what I'm hearing. There is an indication that you rarely, if ever, left your mountaintop or left your particular area as you felt the most drawn to connection with the universe there. You felt the most connected with everything, with God, with Source, with nature there. And you were very connected with nature. I'm getting you spoke with the wind spirit. You spoke with the sky. You spoke with the birds. And they were your friends. And they spoke back to you. I'm also getting that as people did come to you for advice, only the brave of heart could really find you because they needed to literally climb a mountain or experience some sort of quest in order to find you. And once they found you, you knew that they were brave of heart. They're telling me that only once or twice did someone with malintention find you and find the strength and courage to come to partake in the journey to find you. But the reason that they were able to is because inside them was light, inside them was purity, and in just a simple conversation with them, a quick cup of tea, sharing a meal, or meditation, these people were quickly reformed and spent the rest of their life in devotion to God, to spirit, in meditation, to humanitarian efforts and giving back. Which is why your lives crossed paths. Now they're showing me a triangle, a triad. In this life, you may have been one of 3 of a particular group. For example, one of 3 practitioners of your craft, or one of 3 watchers of a mountaintop, or to the entrance of a particular holy place, such as Shambhala. Now, they're saying that in some way you were a watcher, and this is drawing again to Babylon. Now, they're saying that your home was very cold. It was covered with snow, as it was at the top of a mountain where they're saying where the sky meets the heavens. There were a lot of clouds, there was a lot of snow, and in today's culture where the sky meets the heavens, this is Tibet, which is the crown chakra of the earth. So you may be called towards Tibet. You may feel called to places that are very snowy, icy. You might be called towards mountains, or feel a very strong connection to the sky, as there was almost an energy of you living in the sky. I'm also seeing a castle in the sky, and I'm seeing an image of the air nomad temples in Avatar: The Last Airbender, where there was just a temple floating in the clouds, and you needed to have the particular skills at a certain level in order to be able to even make it there, unless you were originally born there. I'm getting that you were not too much a member of your community, but that there was a community very, very close to you, very localized to you, that knew of you, and you knew everyone's name there. They looked up to you and you to them, and this was your family. I'm getting that in this life, if you knew your family at all, you were not really in contact with them, but it didn't bother you because you already had a family. And with the lower world card, I'm being drawn to they're showing, what is her name? From The Conjuring, they're showing me the couple, the woman in particular. I'm seeing Owen, I'm seeing Over, and I'm seeing Coven, and they're showing me the face of, oh goodness, let me look this up. It was the Warrens who I was looking at, whose face I was seeing. You might also feel some sort of connection or be interested in learning about Blavatsky. Is it Heather or Helen Blavatsky, the founder of Theosophy? They also went on a quest through the Shambhalan Mountains to find Shambhala. And on their return, they never spoke about what they found. Now, there's an indication that you have met someone new recently, and that this person, you might feel perhaps drawn to in a way that you are unaware of, or you're not sure of the reason or the purpose. This is a soul activation. Your past life is saying that you encountered this person in a past life, and that there's a soul contract that you would encounter each other again in order to activate something, like a soul memory trigger. I'm also seeing 72, which is a 9, which is indication that this will help you to find your path. When you come to a crossroads, you will be able to go back to this particular trigger, and it will help you find the path of freedom over the path of restriction. Check out Jupiter and Saturn in your chart right now, or in the transits. They may be transiting each other, and if this is happening, there will be some sort of opportunity for you to study under someone in a strict manner, such as going to a hermitage or taking some sort of step towards devotion in some way. There will be an action you may feel called to take that parallels this past life, and they're saying you do not need to take this path because you have already done it. But what you might want to do is look deeper into why you feel called towards this, because this in and of itself is a trigger towards this past life. If you are being called to make any physical changes to your body, they're saying stop and stare at yourself now, because you will want to remember the way that you are now, because you will not look this way for a lot longer. Also, I'm being called to the rattle. You might become a parent soon, or be welcoming another child soon. You might be rebirthing the way that you look, your style. Perhaps you feel called to shave your head as a symbol of death and rebirth. There is something else that your past self wants to talk to you about, but they would like to add a bit of a trigger warning before they do. And they're drawing my attention to the lower world card and the fire. They're saying that in some way you inherently have a connection with something that you currently either are not proud of or resonate with as bad, shadow, or difficulty. They're saying that you know what this is. This might have to do with a past life or an earlier part of your life, something that maybe you had nightmares about when you were younger, or something that you have visions about that are less than comfortable. They're saying that there is an important connection that you have about an incarnation of your own, which will help you to connect with, they're saying, friends, yes, you call them friends, that are existing in the lower realms. And they're saying that in order for there to be peace on earth, there must be a balance between light and dark. And in order for you to be a bridge between where you come from and where you are, you too must be a bridge between light and dark. You must find that within yourself. They're asking you to befriend the shadows. They're saying that if you have been experiencing anything less than positive lately, to see these as opportunities. They're asking you to go back to, if you, for example, you like science fiction or fairy tales or horror movies or something that has a bit of an occult but in a shadow energy type of way. They would like you to see which you feel the most drawn to, what you feel called to, and why. Because there is a part of you that is a very important part of you that cannot be forgotten and must be acknowledged. And this is part of your divine spiritual fire. They do not want you to cleanse or clear. They want you to balance this part of you out, but they don't want you to sweep it under the rug. If you feel... I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time tapping into this energy. It's very intense for my physical vessel. Give me a moment, please. I apologize. I was feeling this very intense, like, angry growling, but I wasn't able to fully embody it. So they're telling me that they're just going to show me in the tarot cards, which it was about time I pulled anyway. So, past life of group number 1. Okay. Closing a cycle. Something that you've been waiting for a long time. Okay, so they are saying that the time is now for a part of your life that you knew you were going to experience before you left your last life. I'm getting that you had visions of this life and you were able to consciously pass. I'm hearing Mahasamadhi again. You were able to consciously leave your body in the timeline where you would consciously incarnate, and the point in your life where you are right now. They have been waiting for this activation. And they're aware of what is to come next. And they're saying that it might open your eyes to something that you were not looking forward to seeing, but it will be okay at the end of the day. There's the Sun again, and the Seven of Pentacles. You've built a foundation for yourself that you might feel soon called to leave or expand upon. Reprioritize, definitely. And they would like to call attention to why. Please fly some cards out of here, make it blatantly obvious what you're trying to say. Past life of group number 3. Ooh. I ask and you provide healing, immense healing for yourself in the realm. There is a healing of shadow energies that you have access to that is going on right now. And this is not only the shadow within you, but this is shadow beings, shadow entities are healing. They are experiencing their own awakening and ascension process parallel to the higher dimensional consciousness as well as Earth's collective. And they would like your help with this. This is something that you knew you were going to do, that you signed up for before your time. You might feel drawn towards energies such as Lilith, such as Kali. These are shadow workers, not only light workers, but shadow workers. And they are saying that you are about to discover, if you have not already, that you are not only a light worker, but a shadow worker. You might feel interested in reading King Solomon's grimoire as well as coming through. So, you are being asked to release your preconceived notions about something or someone and experience a death and rebirth. And they're saying allow this to happen through you because you have signed up for this. And the more that you resist something, the more difficult it will be. They're saying that they're reminding you that light and shadow are two sides of the same coin. And they're asking you to take the steps that you need in order to ground yourself wherever you feel the most comfortable, whether it be ground yourself on the earth, ground yourself in the light, or build yourself something to keep you busy on the side. they're highly recommending that you pick up a hobby or that you do something that helps you feel grounded. Whether this is picking up a technique such as going outside, grounding yourself with bare feet on the earth, picking up an old hobby you used to enjoy when you were a child, such as painting or dancing or drawing or singing, or like building a business, starting a side hustle, picking up something to keep you busy, a yoga practice, something like this. You are going to awaken spiritually, and the next time that you do, you're going to experience a shadow realm that you have. They're saying you have experienced this before in this incarnation, so you already know where you're going. They're saying last time it scared the crap out of you and you had a difficult time getting on the train, but you did it anyway because you knew it was meant for you, because you had enough information at the time to know that there was some sort of death and rebirth, some sort of part of your path, a particular important reason why you were drawn towards this. They're saying that they're saying to take things one step at a time. I'm also hearing that song by Jordan Sparks. They're saying to go one step at a time and not to fear your subconscious, not to fear the depths, not the shadow or the light. They're saying that there is a very powerful alchemist inside of you, and you might be aware of a portion or part of it, but there is more than meets the eye. They would like you to reawaken to the fullest part of your being. They're saying in your past life, you did not even fully awaken to all of this, and you were very highly sought after. They would like you to access the parts that they did not have time to access in their past life because they were busy preparing your consciousness for this life, so that when you entered this life, you perhaps entered this life very psychic or with complete memory of your last life, or with some sort of special gift or ability. I'm seeing the movie Matilda in my mind, so maybe you are telekinetic, maybe you are telepathic, maybe you have immense psychic abilities. You, again, may have been born with all memories of your past lives. Now, they would like you to do something tasky in order to ground you and keep you busy, because they are saying that this past life particularly knows how easy it is to get swept away by spirit. Whether this is God, whether this is light, or whether this is shadow. Going internal is a very, very easy way to lose yourself. And they don't want you to consciously or unconsciously leave your body before your task is done. They're saying that it's very important that you complete your mission while you're here now, because you chose precisely the right time to incarnate into your body in order to do exactly what you've been doing on the timeline that you're on. So it's very, they're saying pertinent. They're like showing me an exclamation point and like shaking my shoulders, and they're like beep, 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 like they're showing me SOS, like, do not overexplore the spiritual realms. You will spend a lot of time tuning into them. You have a lot of access because you've spent an entire lifetime in there. So they're saying if you feel called to drop everything right now and go join a hermitage or a monastery, they're begging you not to. And this is not because it's not a beautiful way to enjoy their life, because it is, because you have. But they are saying that it's because when you were in the depths of your spirit, you awokened to a larger mission, that you are the precise right individual entity for, with the right amount of knowledge, skill, and wherewithal, having already explored these spiritual realms, and have now chosen to incarnate in this body at this time for something that can only be done by your body during this time. So it's very important that you do not skip on this because you want to go towards the light like a mosquito going towards a flame. They're saying that if you are not careful with this, there is a possibility for you to ascend or experience Mahasamadhi or leave your body early. This may have been something that you have struggled with in the past, staying in your body. You may have experienced ascension to the point where you have cleansed your karma and have fully experienced an afterlife in your body. They're saying you may have experienced several near-death experiences, some through physical mishaps and other through meditation. So be cautious. Be very cautious, and this is why they are recommending that you pick up a physical task or hobby, because you will be called to do a lot of spiritual or energetic work. Group number 3, they're saying that you are the kind of person who often has people dream about you, and it is not their figment of imagination. It is your astral body. You might sleep a lot. You might feel called to sleep a lot, and this is because you are very, very busy. The rest that you get when you dream is few and far between. Or the rest that you get when you are asleep is few and far between. And you know this. Do not allow, they're saying textbook idiocracy. Do not allow, the social matrix to confine you to what is possible, because you have time and time again across many spans of life broken down the barriers of what is possible. I'm hearing the song The Impossible Dream of Man of Land of La Manta. That's a beautiful song. They're saying, and they're showing me quest. Oh, vision quest. Okay, they're showing me a vision quest. You might want to watch Shrek. There may be messages in there for you, but separately, you may feel called towards shamanism or healing, but you might not necessarily find the physical people. You might feel more called towards healing animals and plants and spirits. You might be a psychopomp, somebody who helps souls cross over and actually ascend after they have left their bodies. You might have a lot of connections with deities or souls who have passed on. You have a lot of spirit guides. As soon as I opened up my consciousness to your spirit guides group number 3, I got the number 432. You have an exuberant amount of spirit guides around you, and you have access to each and every one, and each of them are coming through to say that they love you, and please, they each have something individual, an individual gift to give to you in return for you helping them in a past life sometime somewhere. So please make use of this. Any question that you could possibly have, you have the answer to within you, and you know where to look to find it. If you have some sort of nightmare or fear that involves trains are very significant for you. And there's a reason for this. They'd like you to go into your psyche, go into your subconscious, and make yourself consciously aware of this. For example, if you had a lot of nightmares about trains, or you saw something with trains as like the main theme that used to really scare you, or you have a weird aversion to trains, you may have even had your near-death experience on train tracks, or something like this. This is a very important sign that transcends lifetimes. This is, they're saying, a timeline break that they're trying to call your attention to, and it has something to do with time. I'm hearing father time. Also, canes or staffs, walking sticks are coming to mind as well. They're saying that it will be helpful for your spiritual journey for you to have some sort of walking stick, rattle, or staff. They're saying that you are most comfortable and powerful when you have a staff at your side. Now, I am not very versed in that, so if you are, please drop a comment and educate me. Or, I will, after this, of course, look it up so that I am educated on the topic, but they're saying that you are more powerful with a staff by your side. So keep that in mind. Also, wear hats to protect your crown chakra. Your spiritual world is very, very infinite, and it literally has access to everything and is very highly sensitive. So by keeping it covered or keeping a hat on your head, you will be able to keep anything out that is not consciously brought in towards you. It will help you stay more internalized and help you maintain a trance-like or meditation-like state even during your waking life. Okay, they're telling me not to pull these cards. They're telling me to pull these cards, so I shall. You have the Chariot. Okay, yes, okay, something is coming your way that is going to activate you even further. And they're calling their attention to this now because there is a truth that you're going to need to speak. And they'd like to prepare you for what is to come, because you are going to have the trustworthy of another is going to come into question. And it is important that you heard this message before this event occurs in your life, because it will be coming when you least expect it. And this will have to do with a person. Truth, quick movement. You'll be called to make a decision quite quickly. And you're going to be led by passion and distrust, but you are going to be by distrust. They mean a miscomprehension. They're saying miscomprehension of shadow energy that exists. You have shadow within you. This person that is coming towards you, or this entity that is coming towards you, has shadow within them. And they're saying not to misconstrue shadow energies for a bad being or a bad person or malintent. They're saying that you have learned the difference between malintent and operating through shadow. They would like you to dive into the shadow realm, not just your own shadow. They would like you to dive into the shadow realm because you have recently learned through the light realm when to recognize trustworthiness versus untrustworthiness. Your intuition is very sharp. When you are going to be getting communication and clarity, but it's going to be when you are feeling, either when you have just come out of, yes, they're saying when you have just come out of the shadow realm, you might be feeling a little bit weary, and this is exactly when this energy will be matching you the most, because they're still operating a bit through shadow, and they will be able to meet you here. This is when you'll be receiving some sort of truth, and you are to follow their guidance, even though it may once seemed untrustworthy. And I'm seeing here actually Puss in Boots from Shrek, so definitely watch Shrek. There will be messages in there for you. But you know how in the beginning he is seemingly untrustworthy, but he's not actually untrustworthy. He just has a good operation of his shadow side. So there is an energy like this around you where you may have stamped it as untrustworthy, but you are actually going to need to take its lead for the next part of your journey. I'm seeing 1444 on the recording time. They're saying that that's really, really important. Keep in mind that this energy, it will come when you feel weary, but not too weary. This energy will maybe come off as cocky that you're weary because there is one thing that they can do better than you, or one thing that they feel they're great at. And I'm seeing this orange color. This might have something to do with your sacral chakra. Now, there is abundance. This energy is leading you towards abundance and helping you to find that place in your path that you have been searching for. And this will help fill in a missing puzzle piece, but is not something you're not already picking up on. They're drawing me back to the Knight of Wands and the rattle. So this will bring abundance, but it will shake something up. It will lead you. You're to follow it, but it is meant to shake something up in your life, something very foundational, or something that you originally believed to be true. Allow this shake-up. It is a divine intervention, and your past life self is saying that they knew that this would happen before they incarnated in your body, and this is a very pivotal part of your life. You needed to be, they're showing me the word, like, not privy to, or hitherto. They're saying, you needed to not be privy to this coming in before it came in. I'm seeing 331, because you needed to master the self. You needed to master yourself before you are able to depart from the self. That hopefully makes sense to you. You may want to look into Ed and Lorraine Warren. Oh, now their names come up. You may want to look into Ed and Lorraine Warren. You may want to look in the symbolism behind trains, the symbolism behind staffs, particularly like shamanic staffs. They're encouraging you to, at the very least, get yourself familiar with the Necronomicon. Exercise caution, please. And they're also drawing me to Heather Blavatsky, the founder of Theosophy. So please look into these topics, as your past life self has channeled these through me to send to you. So please do your due diligence on the topic. It will help you. They're saying it will help you know what's up. Yeah, like know up from down. Like know literally what is going on. Like find a sense of direction when things start happening. And they're saying things are going to start happening very soon, almost immediately. And they're saying that you might be scoffing at this right now, or a little bit unsure about this. And they're saying that that is already step number 1. So you're being drawn to remember who you are. And if you need a place to ground yourself, yes, pick up a task, but they're saying, remember me. Remember me sitting on the top of a mountain with my head literally touching a cloud. meditating or levitating on a mountaintop. This will always ground you. You have some sort of anchor in that timeline that you have placed there for yourself to help you along your journey. And also they're saying that you can go to them at any time and place spiritually, and they're always there to guide you. But they are an energy where 99% of the time you must go to them. They're saying that they've swooped in a couple times and saved your butt, and they will do it again if need be, but you should be going to them if you need them. There's something about your path, about knowing when you need to bring others on board, and they would like you to practice this with them. I keep hearing truth, I keep hearing Satya, I keep hearing at last. That's Etta James, at last. That is seemingly random, but hopefully it's not for you. And they're bringing me back to the sun card, like staring at the sun. If you stare at the sun for too long, everything seems like a shadow. And they're bringing that metaphor out to have you meditate on it a little bit as well. Okay. That is all I have for you, group number 3. This was your past life regression reading, or a message from your past life self. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that this helps shed love, light, and clarity on your situation and your past life. And I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, week, month, year, and incarnation in this beautiful realm. Happy traveling. Namaste.